Lorianne,
Tanya.
thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome. Happy to do it.
How long have I known you? 15 years?
15 years, yeah.
15 years.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it's been 15 years.
And I do want to share that you have been a vital part of Milton's community from the time I have known you.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was a turning point or the initial moment when you felt driven to foster such a close-knit community that I have seen grow over the years?
It's funny because I know it's a community-based gym. So when I first started, that wasn't the initial thought process. My initial thought when I opened was to get people healthy. And in that, it just turned into this community-driven business that I wasn't even expecting. So I think the first thought was, as the people started rolling in, as I opened, the friendships started, people started connecting with each other. And then I realized, wow, this is just turning into something that I didn't picture it from the start. When I first had the idea of opening a gym, it just wasn't even in my head.
You know, both of us know as business owners that community building is not an easy task,
Right.
but you still manage to do that and still do till this day, and I've seen that over the years. Was there a moment when you realized that bringing people together was more than just a business opportunity, but it kind of gave you more?
I think that's honestly what's kept people here. There's been lifelong friendships formed from these connections with people. So it's not just about working out, it's about fostering community, fostering connections, people knowing each other for years and years and years now. And it's just become more than just a gym, if that makes sense. And again, like I said before, it's not something I had in my head when I first thought of opening this business. It just kind of rolled into that. The community is such a huge part of this facility.
For sure. Oh, absolutely. And I've seen it grow over the years, right?
Yeah.
And I've built such great friendships over here, and thanks to you. I mean, being in Canada for only 15 years when I came in.
Yeah.
You saw me through both my pregnancies.
It did, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Built so many great relationships over here. I've seen that over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, Milton has experienced tremendous growth and evolved since the time. How many years have you been here for?
I've lived here for 23 years. 23 years.
So you have seen Milton evolve quite a bit.
Yes.
And especially as I see it, you're my community connector when I came in, right?
Yeah.
And you've taught me that as well. But have you adapted to the approach to meet, I would say, like the changing needs in Milton? Because I'm sure a lot of different people come through your gym on a monthly basis.
Yes.
Like you have that core that is a Miltonian and still comes in.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've kind of seen that change happen. So share a little bit about this.
So what I have noticed with the growth in Milton is that you don't just have people that were born and raised in Milton. So when I started, it was a lot of just, the locals in Milton. Now we're getting people in from the city, different provinces coming in, but mostly from the city. So they're coming in from Toronto, where they're used to having these boutique style studios, and they're seeking them out. So that is the one shift that I found with the growth in Milton, is that people are looking for this kind of boutique style studio. They don't want to be in the regular kind of average kind of gym with no community. So they're seeking out community. They're seeking out a specific type of place. So we have to keep rolling with that. And I feel like we've done it really well with shifting and changing as the new people are coming into Milton.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you answered my next question, because my next question was going to be, was there any moment in period in expansion, that means as you grow so much, and I've seen that, where you had to pivot quickly to keep the community spirit alive? But I think your boutique...
The boutique style, like keeping that Toronto kind of vibe that in the suburbs.
Right.
So kind of that's what we kind of roll with. And I know even through the pandemic, we've had to shift and turn. And during that time, a lot of people moved out this way.
Right.
So we've kind of stayed consistent there, which is really good.
Talking about the pandemic, and I'm sure it's something, everyone that's watching this probably read that gyms were abandoned quite a bit.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about that time?
So pre-COVID, we were rolling. We were having, we had 600 people through the door. We were just rolling. We had plans to expand. It was just, I had everything I had in my head was going as planned. COVID hit. Gyms got shut down for almost 2 years. And I think it was 2 years.
Wow, was it 2 years?
2 years. And we had a lot of people that I know in the industry had to close their doors, unfortunately. So if you didn't know how to pivot properly and you didn't know how to keep that community together, because that's what I found, the community started to drift. And that's what the core of my business is, our community.
Right.
So it started to drift, and I had to figure out a way to reel them back in. So that was a really trying time for this industry personally, in my business life, to try to stay afloat. And I look at it now 2 years, it's 2 years later? 2 years later. And we're still not over the hump economically.
But you're still in business.
We are still in business.
Yes, right. Yes. Your biggest validation. If there's nothing more.
Of course. Right. And the best part about that is we've had people that have been with us for 15 years, and through all of that, and through all of that, they have come back.
Right.
And I was worried that some people wouldn't come back. So I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to pivot and keep the community alive.
When whoever's not come back, it's their loss.
It's their loss. Right? Yeah.
After all the ups and downs that you have gone through, lessons learned, the experiences gained through it, now it may sound a little philosophical, but what was the most important takeaway that you've kind of discovered being a business owner over the years?
Number one, have good people around you. Always surround yourself with people that are not in it for themselves. They are in it to create that togetherness. Always have good people around you. Never get ahead of yourself. Stay humble. You stay humble, you can excel in anything you do. But if you get too big in the head, you won't. You'll find yourself falling. Stay humble, stay in your own lane, and surround yourself with really good human beings, because when you do that, you will always, always excel in anything you do. And that's just family, life, business. If that's my takeaway from anything when you run a business, when you're in the thick of it, when things get rough, and if you have the right team around you, they'll pull you out.
Lorianne's words of wisdom. I will always keep that takeaway. But thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's always been a pleasure. Now let's go and lift some weight.
Okay, let's do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.